What's up, guys? T Love Social Media Queen. This is gonna be a good topic for you, ladies and fellas. Mainly for the ladies, but the fellas can listen to. Today's topic is going to be called "Men Who Beat Women." Okay. Men who beat women. We're gonna talk about this. We got to talk about this. Because I talk about pretty much everything else. So I wanted to bring this to the table to talk about this with y'all. Because I feel as though it needs to be put out here. Most men who beat on women. Most men who beat on women come from abusive homes. And most men who beat on women, they come from violent homes. Growing up, most of these men, excuse me, y'all. I need some water. Most of these men come from broken homes. A lot of these dudes get in these relationships and they beat on these women because they come from broken homes. And I know what you're thinking. Well, some men who came from good homes beat on women. Yeah, but let me break it down to you. When you are raised in a domestic violence, a domestic environment, an abusive home, and you done seen your uncle, excuse me, I'm sorry, bear with me, your uncle, a male figure, every time you turn around, he's beating up on a woman. Or you done been abused yourself. I'm speaking in terms as when you see a person has been abused. If you see a person that's been abused, if this person has been abused, 9 times out of 10, if they come to the relationship to abuse a female, they've been abused. A man who beats a woman is cursed, and they come from troubled homes, y'all. And a lot of times that come from them, growing up, like I said, seeing their mother being abused or some type of, let me just say this. It comes from having a lot of bullshit around you. When these boys grow up to be, you got a lot of these, let me say this. When a person is coming from a domestic violent home, all they see all day is abuse. Excuse me for the background. People be sending me emails and stuff. So sorry about that. I'm gonna learn how to cut that off. But when a person is coming from a domestic violent home and they've been abusing women to the point where they abuse women the way they do is because they seen a lot of shit. And it doesn't have to mean you grew up in the hood. It don't mean you grew up in a neighborhood that was rough. You could come out the suburbs and still see this shit. A lot of times when you start dating a dude and you've been dating him for quite some time, maybe about a year, but you really still didn't know his history. You didn't know he had a history of beating on women. So you get into a relationship with the guy, whether it's younger relationship or older relationship, and you find yourself every time you turn around it's an argument. Then one day he just popped your ass right in your mouth. And you didn't realize that he hit you. Once he popped you in your mouth, there's another pop. So understand, if a nigga jack you up, any kind of push you, somewhere down the line, he's done it before. A lot of these men come from broken homes. When they beat up on a woman, they'll make any excuse in the world to say, baby, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. And I apologize for my actions. But the next hit, and the next hit come around, he may send you to the hospital. So you got to go fight it out. You got to fight it out you got to fight it out. You got to go to the hospital and lie. And you see all stories. Y'all see a lot of stories like this before. But a lot of niggas who do that shit, they come from broken homes. They come from broken homes. Anytime a man put his hands on a motherfucking woman, he's a motherfucking cursed man. I don't give a damn if he jacked you up and smacked you all around. He is a cursed motherfucking man. Because see, if he do that to you, don't tell him what he'll do to you. He can get real angry, pull out a knife or anything in any nature to hurt you and harm you. A lot of these dudes that get in these relationships, they beat women in front of kids. They get crazy. They get wild. They get physical. And they take advantage of good women. He may not beat you, but he's on the verge to beating you. Well, I'll tell her this and that. I'll make her feel so low, but I want to see how I'm going to do it to get in her goddamn head. You understand? These men are not men who beat on women. They're cowards. It is not right for a motherfucker to pile on you like that. Ladies, we got to know when to leave these sorry motherfuckers. A lot of times you women get up on here, on these Facebook pages or Instagram or whatever, you hide shit. And we know that 9 times out of 10 is happening to somebody right now as we speak. But you figure, oh, if he beat me, that's love. That ain't no goddamn love. That's sick. Any man that put his hands on a motherfucking woman is a bitch ass nigga. Any man that put his hands on a woman is a bitch ass nigga. So I'm on this show to tell y'all that there's no excuse for a man to put his hands on a woman. There's no excuse, YouTube followers. It's no excuse. Men who come from broken domestic violent homes are cursed. They may come and tell you, well, only reason I'm doing it because I'm trying to prepare you to be marriage material. How you going to tell her if she's marriage material? If she's taking good care of you and she's doing everything to help you out, you disrespecting you. Let me tell you something. I was dealing with a dude who was trying to whoop my ass. And I saw his intentions because you really don't know their true intentions. He tried to jack me up. This was a long time ago. And I seen it. I seen it. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you something, y'all. You can see it. Because this happens when you he came from a single parent home. I'm a single parent, but I'm raising my boys to be men, okay? He came from a single parent home. And you can tell he came from really, his mother was basically you could tell she's a single mother, so you could tell whatever kind of dude she had around him in New York or whatever. You could just basically tell that his attitude was a little off. I don't give a damn what you do or how you do it. You don't put your hands on no woman. So what I'm saying to you people is, you can tell. Anytime a man put his hands on a woman, he's a bitch ass nigga. Like I said, they come from homes, broken homes. And not even just that, man. You got some men that knows what they doing, man. When they beat on women, it can go to it can go to the left to the point where a female can die. You know, and a lot of females hide that shit because they so afraid that they don't want nobody else to know. They feel as though, oh, if he beat me, he loved me. He don't love you, sweetie. He ain't doing nothing but blacking your eye even more, whooping your ass even more, taking advantage of you even more. Men who beat on women come from fucked up homes. They wasn't raised right. So what I'm saying to y'all is, don't be stupid. A lot of that shit come from homes that mostly the dads either left, or sometimes the dads done beat the mothers. You gotta understand this shit. It goes both ways. If a father's not in a home, but somewhere down the line he saw a lot of domestic violence, all he saw was a man beating a woman, he feel as though if a woman put her hands on him, he's gonna beat on her. Or, damn, my daddy beat on my mother, so I was taught to beat on a woman. No, you don't. No, you don't. Any man that beat on a woman's a bitch. He's a coward. He's a sorry motherfucker. And he ain't shit. It is not right for you to put your hands on no motherfucking woman. Who gives you the right to put your hands on a woman? The woman is the most precious thing in the world. So who gives you the motherfucking right to put your hands on a woman? Shit get physical, man. Because some women get tired. When you get up in relationships and you see, for some women that killed their husbands or their boyfriends because it was the domestic violence and they was trying to find a way out. He's stalking them or still coming around and they can't get rid of the motherfucker. And they ended up, doing something to harm the individual. Because a lot of women don't like to go to programs to hide out for domestic violence, domestic abuse. And it's a damn shame. We women have got to put our foot down. And not even just women. Men go through abuse too. There's a lot of women out here that would abuse men. But when you know a nigga, when you get in a relationship with a dude, you know because he'll be soft-spoken, will try to make himself seem like he well put together. And if he grabbing you tight, I'm talking about tightly, and pinching you and doing all kinds of shit. You look at these movies so you can imagine. They let you know he's an abuser. He's not just aggressive. He gonna slip up and beat your ass. So understand one thing before this video shut down. Most men who abuse women come from broken homes. Their minds are fucked up. And what they seen, it took an effect on their day-to-day life, which means it took an effect on their adult life. And once that happened, there's no counseling put in place to say you don't need to do this. Let's make a better way. But when you're around a lot of bullshit and you see a lot of things, you're abusing women because that's what you saw all your goddamn life. But you go to the other female and make it seem like, you ain't did shit. And then she start understanding, oh, that's why she left. Because you was beating on her too. A lot of these dudes are having a lot of women fooled by making it seem like they so nice. Oh, it's so nice in the beginning. But what you really don't know, he can be an abuser. So understand, men who come from abuse homes are cursed. Ain't no way around it. When you find out you have a nigga like that, immediately run from his ass. Because that's a huge red flag. Especially if the nigga ain't right in his goddamn head. He ain't gonna do nothing but hurt you. It may hurt you if you got kids. Today's topic was called Men Who Abuse Women.